Welcome to Shaffler Sitdown, episode 2. Fuck, it's 3. Yeah, let's go.
That was awful.
Best
Oh,
intro.
that best intro right there. All right, what are we talking about?
All right,
Let's go,
the
Shaffler.
first topic, as always, is going to be the weekly recap. We're going to start off with Double Cap versus Rio Redemption. Rio Redemption getting the 4-0 sweep on Double Cap. I don't know if you noticed or not, but we are down a Double Cap member for this show currently. Hopefully he'll join, but McCree said he was going to come, and then he just kind of didn't. So hopefully we'll get someone.
Disconnecting and
Bye.
disliking game, dude. What the fuck?
So we'll send this over to. I fucked up. We go around. We go first. We go through the list, and everybody say what team you're on and what role you play. Starting out with Jeff.
I'm main tank for Plat Chat.
Nicholas.
I'm feeder for Papega Parrots. That's DPS.
Mr. Dempsey.
I am flex support for Winter Wonders.
Watch Me Dab, aka Chicken,
I'm a flex DPS for Rio Redemption.
and Z Power.
Alright, my name is Power, and I'm a bot burger.
Perfect. All right, now we'll get into the weekly recap with Rio Redemption getting the 4-0 sweep on Double Cap Clap. If you'd like to talk more in depth about that game, Chicken, this is your time.
Well, there's a lot of tilting going on. There's a lot of things I regret saying. There is now a new rule against it, and so yeah, there's a lot of toxicity. But overall, it was a good match.
Is there anything like? Would you say it was a relatively close 4-0, or was it not even close?
I mean, some maps were just complete rolls, and some maps were really close. Like Hollywood, we thought we were gonna lose for a little bit. Like we had to change some strategies on Hollywood. Anubis was like I said, just a quick sweep on Anubis. Like other maps, let me think. Dorado, I think like one of the star players on Dorado was Surmy. Like on attack, he carried on Roadhog. Like I think he killed 4 last push on Roadhog, and then also I did some really weird Bastion play on Dorado, where I set up away from my team when we were running a bunker and just destroyed their entire team from behind.
The big brain plays.
Yeah, I go watch my big brain, and then I just sat behind him and just gunned their grind down. So.
One question I have for you is, what do you think led to this big turnaround for Rio Redemption getting these 2 pretty big wins back to back at the end of the new stage? Do you think it has anything to do with the meta, or?
Mostly I'm picking up. I would say me and Apple with a bit. Like I think Apps mentioned this. Me and Apple getting picked up added like a whole new bit of positivity and all that to the team, and also the fact that Apple is an insane ball. We can run a lot more like triple DPS stuff like that, and then me having another like a better DPS for the team, they can go with Eps. Then me and Eps just love playing DPS, so like we're having fun and we're rolling at the same time. So it's kind of a win-win for us.
You guys definitely had a nice little turnaround at the half of the season. We'll move into the next game, which was Platchat versus Botburgers, which was another 4-0 sweep. We'll throw this over to Z Power if you want to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, the first 2 games, they didn't have Jeff, and they got rolled. And the last 2 games were really close. Like, the 3rd map, I think Jeff kind of boomed our main tank. And the 4th map, we put in our subs, and we just had a really hard time, but we ended up getting the 4-0, which is great. And I think we're going to take this momentum, we're going to pop off against the enemies this week.
I mean, sure, dude, you could go for it if you think you could beat Papega Parrots, but
Yeah, I mean,
if there's anything else that was left unsaid, Jeff, if you'd like to talk a little bit about your experience.
Also, I want to say that Jeff and Owais were 2 very stand-up players, and I think I don't like we 4-0'd them, but I think Placha did actually played really well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I wasn't able to show up because I had family visiting. But after I spent quality time with my family, I was able to pop off and get a 6-man chatter, so that felt good. Yeah, they were really close. I mean, we had some communication errors, which led to some overuse of ultimates at not great times.
Z-Power just talked about how you possibly mentally boomed Arrow. Was that something that you noticed during the game and you kind of pushed a little harder for?
Oh yeah, no, I kind of boomed him. Like even the casters said that I kind of boomed them. Like
What? How do you think that happened? Was just you just beating him up, or what you do differently?
I just played my game. I didn't really think about names. I don't know. I just didn't think like, oh my god, it's Arrow. You know, like because like people say he's like the best main tank in Owais. It's just like, oh okay,
Yeah.
I'll just play. I'll just play my game.
And then the last map, our last game of the week, which was, I just realized that the losing team literally won 0 maps. So it was a 4-0-4, then a 3-0. Pepega Parrots getting the 3-0 victory against One Trick Wonders. I'll throw this over to our Pepega Parrot, Nick, to talk about it first.
Yeah, it was a 3-0. It was a pretty close game at the start, but we kind of took it away at the end. I feel like we came after out of the Rio game kind of hungry, and we made some reforms to the team, and I think it really helped, and we're looking even stronger now than we used to be. Like we like pretty much we kind of rolled on control point or CP. We really have been practicing on that really hard, and I feel like that's going to be the one map we're almost guaranteed to win on every single game, so which is why if we ever get pushed to map 5, I'm really confident in our team to pull it out in the end. And 2CP was kind of shaky. I don't even know what we tied on. What did we tie
Anubis.
on? Anubis, yeah, that's why. I got a 5K I think on the next map, New Bonnie, and we spawn camped you guys on Junker Town, so that's gonna be yikes.
But they were still able to full push, which was kind of stressful to watch as a...
We were memeing until the end, and then like the comms turned from us memeing to like at the very end, someone said stop memeing.
I
So
mean,
that was
yeah,
pretty
for
funny.
anybody who's not aware, what Pepega Parrots does, and I'm assuming Bopburgers is doing now, is once we have the confirmed win, we will throw in our subs just to give them some play time, and that's something that I think every team should do, just because map differential. I mean, it's a big deal, but I mean, if your map
fucking 14, dude, it's not that big of a deal.
If
We're
you're,
not even 14, we're 15, I think.
yeah,
now, right?
if your map differential is 9 above the next closest seed, you can just do whatever you want, right? If there's anything else that you'd like to add, Master Dempsey.
That on our side of comms, we got that was like Tilt City. Like,
Which
got
part of
so
it? The whole game, or?
It started after Anubis, because I don't know if anyone noticed, but we had 6 ults going in for that last fight, and then we wasted them all, so we had to draw.
That's the classic Pepega Parrots play. We do that all the time. So basically, the counter to that is Nano Rally Brig, and then she's invincible.
Oh yeah, were you guys like screaming about that? Because I saw Werner say some shit in chat about that.
Yeah, we had we even had Nano Blade, but one aggressive play from you guys that we didn't expect is caught us off guard, and we all just went crazy. And
But which was it? The EMP when you guys were walking to point, or?
At first our Diva was hacked, and we were gonna EMP bomb, but there wasn't enough communication that our Diva was hacked, so the EMP went out anyways. Then we had, I think, 1 or 2 members down, but we still called the Nano Blade. We got 3, but then their Rhine got the point, and we got fucking boomed.
Yeah, Tofu had a nice little flank shatter there. I saw it. I don't mean to call anybody out, but I think you guys would have won that map if not Werner popped his primal and was tossing around our brig, and who was it? I think shifting. Your nanoed Genji wasn't able to hit the brig once because Werner was just tossing her around, which might have lost.
Oh, it wasn't even that. I got hit like twice. Just nano break just refuses to fucking die.
So
yeah, the comms on our side was just me screaming how I refuse to die.
Who's your somber player, Master Dempsey, usually?
It's usually Silver. He's been doing a lot of practice.
Is it?
Oh wait,
was it Silver? I thought it was. I thought it was Laser. I think he played her.
We alternate Sombras a bit with Laser, Dom, Synop, and silver. We're working that out right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try and get a more consistent roster for next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to be toxic, but some of your Sombras EMPs are a little bit questionable. Like there's, I think every single time on what was it, Ilios, every time they EMP'd, it was either too late or too early, and I don't think you guys like wiped us once with an EMP.
To
But
go off of that, your guys' Sombra was kind of getting rolled by our Magical. Who's our Sombra? Magical was getting
Yeah,
picked on because his
I was
Sombra.
gonna say, is Magical not play Summer for you guys?
He does. We're like working on
it's
that
like a
at the moment.
rotation between Nick and Magical and some people. But
It's so
Wait,
weird.
does like,
It's weird.
why is it like, so Sebs is flex off tank, right?
yeah,
So he
Yes.
can like flex onto Zarya, and then Magical can go onto.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Sebs
it's
Yeah,
could
okay.
even play
weird.
Sombra if we needed him to. Like he's still pretty decent. He's not as good as Nick or Magical, obviously, because they're DPSs, but he's still a pretty competent Sombra if we need it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we have like 3 or 4 Summer players on our team, like Stewie, me, and Eps. Like, and Audit can
Yeah.
play it too. Like, just a bunch of rules can play it.
But also, you guys kind of didn't seem prepared for our comms. Were you guys ready for us to run summer goods, or were you guys not even looking at us going into this week?
Not we weren't very prepared. We always had a 4 people plus away for our Friday and Saturday scrim, so we weren't able to prepare right before the match. Really, we had a scrim
Right.
with Rio like right before,
Yeah.
but we none of us were there
Yeah,
for all of it.
We didn't run any goats basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you just
No,
were you
yeah, and
expecting?
the trouble with Warner disconnecting too. Did he disconnect at all in the match?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't DC.
Alright.
He got those issues fixed.
Alright, it was like 6 times in like 2 minutes. Like Warner DC'd, Silver's setting his game. Like,
All right, just real quick, I just want to finish talking about this game. So coming into what was it, Numbani, you guys subbed in Silver Star and ran that weird comp on point. Whose idea was that? Because you guys ran it both on our first attack and our overtime attack, and we rolled it in the first fight both time. I mean, it was a little bit different, but like, where did that comp come from?
I think we were running a variation of Clockwork.
Yeah, it was something like that.
No, I think we were running pure Clockwork, but
Yeah, it was on. You guys kept running that on lower ground. Yeah, I wanted to ask why were you guys running that on low ground? Why not high ground?
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure who called it. I just saw an Orisa shield on bottom, so I dropped bottom with the rest of them.
Yeah, because our first push, I hit a probably the best anti in my entire life, and then the second push, Nick just spammed left shift and killed everybody.
Yeah.
who is he playing?
Nick was
I was
Genji.
on Genji, and I got a 5K on the overtime push. Or no, that was like our first push, but that was the like whatever it was.
And then going into the last map, like how serious are you guys taking Junkertown after you saw us put our subs in and stuff?
Okay, we were taking that pretty seriously. We're just tilted out of our fucking minds.
If I can ask, who? I mean, there's usually someone like who was tilted on the team. Like, I mean, it's not or who wasn't tilted. I guess I could ask because it seemed like
I don't. Ace was probably the least tilted since he wasn't playing for the first 3 maps.
Mhm.
But
Is that why you had to sub out Warner? Is just because he tilted?
we were just gonna. It was the last map. We already lost. We put in Ace for a last ditch effort, I think. But I think I was definitely the most tilted out of the whole team. Like,
What do you think led to that?
okay. Well, it probably doesn't have help that I have a background of anger issues. But what also didn't help was there was banter between Pepega and us, kind of, mostly with the sits in chat.
Oh yeah.
The part that got us really tilted was the people in spectating and calling us out, like Grape Cake casting in the text chat. It was just Like,
Yeah, I think Grape.
Yeah,
Personally, I think Grape has good potential for like being the main caster if he kind of just stops typing or gives his other caster time. I honestly think that his casting is the best I've heard. Like I know we have a whole fallout with him, Nick, but I honestly think he might be one of the best casters just because of how.
yeah.
I mean,
I agree,
Like,
but like
you
I feel like
haven't seen Agreed and Yusuf. You haven't
I
seen
haven't
Agreed.
though.
Agreed
You're
and
right.
Yusuf are
We're gonna move into a question, which I hope you guys are all ready for because I told you about it. This might be hard because Double Cap lost and he's not. No one's here for it, but we're gonna do the opposite MVP. So I'll explain it a bit. If your team lost, you pick an MVP on the winning team, and that's it. It's not too difficult. Jeff, if you wanna give your MVP first and explain why you chose that person.
mine was Z Power. Just because he had like a really high damage output throughout the game. Like he applied a lot of pressure to me when I was playing Ryan. Like, and he's just a really strong player. And I talked to like my teammates because I wasn't able to be there for the first 2 maps, and they said Z Power did really well. So yeah.
Nice. Z Power, do you know who your team voted MVP?
All right, so I think I was a three-way tie between Pigeon, Rancher, and me. I personally would give it to Pigeon because Pigeon wasn't only like a really good player in game, but also like in between games and outside the game, like he was just a really positive force.
he's the hype master.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
and
I
I
heard.
think and like we were like when we get tilted, like he's a big part of the reason why we don't like tilt off the earth. There's a reason why like our team's really happy and shit, and it's like that's I think that's very undervalued, and I think that deserves MVP.
Yeah, just like hanging around Pigeon. Like you can just like he's
Yeah,
always
got
like
that
happy.
positive vibe, dude. Listen, no, because I think that's the main. I think if Double Cap had Pigeon, Double Cap would be the best team in the league right now. It's just their mentality is so bad, and like they turn on people like so quick. Like it's just not healthy, and it's just not. I don't know.
Yeah, I had him on the show, and I got that vibe from him. Something I also get from my boy Rockney on Papega Parrots, but I mean that's good to hear. We'll move on to Master Dempsey. I'm a little bit curious about this one because it involves our team. Who would you give?
And thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Who would you give the MVP to on Papega Parrots?
Probably the person I saw in the kill feed most, with that being Nick. He just dominated us. I especially felt it on support. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course. That's who I voted for MVP. Right now, between our team, it's pretty close between Nick and Lilithy, but I mean, it's a good
it's
pick.
not even close. Lily has like 30,000 fucking votes because of his 3 guy, dude.
Well, he hasn't got an MVP yet, and you've gotten like 3.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
no, I've gotten it like 5 weeks, so I don't care. It's all good.
I mean, we don't have anybody from Double Clap to do it, so I guess Chicken. Who would you give MVP to?
Give it to me, chicken.
On Rio?
Yeah,
I'd say either Surmi or Epps.
Surmi.
Surmi just showed straight power under auto. Like he owned Double Cap. Like
I mean, yeah, he's a really good fucking off tank.
yeah, we underestimated him. We put him in because Stewie wasn't there, and we just go, okay, Surmi's in because Stewie likes game crash and stuff. I guess he said he was on the I guess he said he was like going to the bathroom or something. That his game crashed. We were all confused, and we just go, wait, let's just put Surmi in. It was map 4 anyway, and he just showed us like straight dominance against Double Cap.
Week 9 predictions. Starting out with our first game, which is Double Clap versus a Plat Chat. It's a lot of back and forth. I guess the biggest one is Nick saying Plat Chat's gonna 4-0 Double Clap. If you want to explain yourself a bit there.
Looking at double clap, whatever. I feel like the trade that they took with Plotchat is really gonna help Plotchat understand what comps and stuff that it's not Plotchat. What comps Double Cap are gonna run, and Double Cap hasn't been the strongest team recently. On top of just all their strats being released to Plotchat, so I feel like Plotchat has a really good chance of pulling out their first 4 probably, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be the first.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Plotchat has that like positivity power, like because like with Owais being on the team, I think like he's gonna add a very positive attitude to the team, and then Double Cap getting tilted very easily. Like I don't know, Kizgo. I think Kizgo was really mad at the end. Like I don't think he was mad though. Like he was pretty calm throughout the whole entire thing. I'm pretty sure. Like and I've heard that he's like a person to get tilted very easily.
Kisco gets mad at himself. He's
Yeah,
never aggressive towards his teammates. He always puts the blame on himself.
To add on to what I say, I feel like the new pickups are really gonna help them too because, like I said with the bot burgers, I feel like new pickups bring new energy into a team, and I don't know personally, Jeff, you might be able to help us here, but um, I think they might be bringing new energy into the team and helping the team out in ways that you guys haven't been exactly practicing in.
Oh yeah, no. Like Owais has been helping a lot in our team. Like he's been doing pretty much as much as he can to help the. He pretty much just wants to fix plat chat. He wants to make plat chat great again, which is pretty cool.
Donnie J Trump attitude.
Yeah. Also, Owais just like he wants to improve. Like he was messaging me like, well, what was he doing wrong on like the maps and like that just shows a lot of character. And I think like
Yeah.
like he knows what he needs to do to win. And I think like he has a plan. Like I think a lot of teams like listen, I was an 0-8 Bob Burger, right? I was there since the beginning, and it's like we were losing and I was tilted, right? But literally like since day 2 after the draft, I knew okay, we're picking up at least these 2 players, and then later on I learned about the other players we're picking up. And I knew like these guys are hidden gems and they're gonna actually help our team. I just have to get through this and I have to like yeah, it takes a lot of mentality and it's like as yeah.
I
You
have to
know,
I have to ask something about bubbers. Is Aunt Jemima like what's up with him? Like I don't know.
All
Like
right,
is
listen.
explain.
No
I've heard
matter
a lot
what
about.
anyone says, he's a valuable part of our team.
Yeah, I heard like
Very
he's a
valuable.
full flex and you guys like
I think we have like 2 full flex. I think yeah, yeah, he's a flex, I'd say. Yeah, he's definitely a flex. Yeah, he's a flex. And it's like he does a lot more for our team. Like he's a very positive guy. He keeps us happy, and it's like I like he and Pigeon and like Octo and like all of them like the majority of our team like help out with our mentality so much. And it's like I think like people will see like, oh, he's not getting playtime, he's garbage or whatever. But it's like that's actually such an undervalued part.
Throw this over to Master Dempsey because he actually called for a 3-0 on the double cap side. If you'd like to talk a little bit more about that.
Well, I haven't been paying attention too much to the what roster pickups that Platchat has had, but like, even though double caps, clap, whatever the fuck they're called, are kind of inconsistent right now. They're still a really strong team, like, and that wasn't too long ago that they were a really strong team. So I think this is their chance to prove that they're still in the talking for one of the best teams in the league. But there is a really good chance for upset, I believe.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with you. I think double cap's gonna win, but just to make this video not 3 hours long, we're gonna move on to our second game, which is Rio Redemption versus One Trick Wonders. A lot of us have a 3-1 win for Rio Redemption. I'll throw it over to Z Power if you want to talk about why you think Rio's gonna get the 3-1 win.
So like these are 2 like really strong DPS teams, and I think with Epps and Chicken and Surmy, I think like that's just gonna be too much for One Trick because like One Trick has like they have Silver Star, Laser Blitz, like Shifting and Dempsey and like all those players and Warner, who I need to mention, is like I think they're all good, but I think Rio is just more like polished. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like they're like they come in with a game plan.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Master Dempsey, of course, maybe a little bit biased, but you actually have One Trick Wonders getting a 3-1 win over Rio. Why do you think your team's going to be able to pull this one off?
Well, we've been making a lot of strides to become a better team since our loss against Papega. I can't just say we're gonna lose 0-4. That's
Yeah.
but I do think we can come out with the win. We're pretty comfortable on DPS, especially with like clockwork comps, and we've been making strides to actually have a consistent roster, and I think we're going to take the win.
I also think that never mind. I was gonna say you should probably play Silver Star somewhere because he kind of carried you on Anubis, but I don't really know what your comps are like. I know he's not super flexible, but yeah. I mean, you guys. I mean, it could go either way. Again, like all these, like either one, pretty much all week can go. We'll move on to the next map, and definitely the match of the week, and might be the best novice game so far this season. We have the two head honchos of the league, Bot Burgers and Papega Parrots, duking it out. It's pretty close. Some people have Papega, some people have Bot Burgers. It's decently close. I guess Chicken, you have Papega Parrots 3-1 in Bot Burgers. If you'd like to talk a little bit more about that.
How dare you?
Okay. So from what I've seen against like our game, when we ran goats against you guys, we really held up like strong against you guys. Like our goats against you was probably some of the worst we performed, but like we understood like what we had to focus on like in you guys, and we just did not do anything. We were not in a good mindset. We were missing Stewie for the first two maps. Like we weren't in a good mindset after the first loss. So like honestly, I think if we would have ran like the comps we run like now, we might have had a chance of getting like a map or two onto you guys. So like I think Papega, if they run their comps that they run, I think they should be able to beat you guys. 3-1.
Sweet. And then, so the people who have Bot Burgers winning, besides the actual players, Master Dempsey, throwing it back to you, why do you think Bot Burgers is going to be able to pull up the win against Papega?
I don't know. It's kind of like a coin flip for me, but I do think that Bot Burgers is going to be coming off the momentum of their previous wins. Like the Pega win, Barretts, well, obviously they completely stomped us, but they did receive a loss the week before to Rio, and right now Bot Burgers is undefeated in this second half of the season, and I think they're going to take that momentum and just win.
Nice. I want to talk a little bit more about this game just because of how much of an impact it's going to have. I want to go over to Nick, and I want you to talk a bit more about it from Papega's point of view.
So yeah, I think this game is definitely gonna do a lot to our mentality, whether we win or lose. I think there is a lot here just in general. I think a lot of us are excited for this game. A lot of us on each other's teams are friends with each other. So like I'm not too mad if I lose this game, I feel like, and I feel like a lot of our teams are the same way too. We're not going to get too pissed over a loss here. And I feel like both teams respect each other a lot, so this should be a really good game, and I won't be mad either way, even if we win or lose. It's just good Overwatch.
And Z-Power, if you want to say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, like we are gonna be missing a couple players on our starting lineup, and we are gonna have to like move around some players, and like there's gonna be some flexing on there, but I do think that my team is gonna pull this off because I mean my team's on a 4-game win streak, and we want to get a 6-game win streak, and I mean we're definitely gonna play Jackbox after. Yeah. Come on. just like the last time we faced off.
It's tradition. It's tradition.
Yeah. And I think last time we faced off each other, like first two maps were a roll, but the third map was like one of like the most intense maps I've ever played.
Oh, yeah,
Like Botburgers pulled out the win when like we had like that was when we only added Rancher to the team.
Yeah, that's when we hard throw. That was on Eichenwald.
Yeah, and like there was like that was like a very intense game because like we were all like playing so well, and I think like we're just gonna come together and we're gonna be like, yeah. And I think also we're missing players, right? And I think like the players who are gonna be there to want to step up. Like I know I'm personally like I really want to step up, you know.
All right. That's all for the predictions. We're gonna move into the question of the week. We got a little bit of spicy one here. So the question's gonna be one, the biggest player draft bust, and the biggest player draft steal / value. We can go through all of our busts first and talk about them a bit, and then after that, after everybody's talked, we'll go through our steals. We'll throw this over to Jeff first. If you want to talk about your bust, his name, and why you think he's a bust.
Oh, my bust is Zoomum H. He's a bust because he got picked, I think, right behind Stewie 1K, and I don't think I ever saw him scrim. I think he scrimmed like once with Bob Burgers and then he left. Never played a game. So I think that's. I think if you're gonna go right after Stu, you'd think that you'd show up, but I guess not.
I think if he played 2 maps, like in game.
Yeah,
2 maps.
Z-Power, you're on a boppers. Can you say anything about what you think of this bus pick about Zuma?
I think Zuma's a good player. I think like what's it called? Like he was our backup. He was like he if he stayed in our team, he would have been like an outstanding Winston. But like that's if you're a good Winston, like that can only take you so far. And like we were trying to develop his Ryan game, but he was very busy, and it's like he had work and stuff, and it's like he just thought it was best that we parted ways.
All right. We'll move on to Nick's bust.
Okay, so I think for my bust I said Pichu, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I think Pichu's a bust because I think she can only play Diva, and I think that's just a bust for a tank player in general. I think if you're only limited to one character in general, and you're not even good at it, you're a trash player,
Ooh.
and I don't think you should have been drafted at all.
Shade.
Like,
Shade.
no. Like I seriously can't understand how you can call yourself a flex tank but only play Diva.
Yeah, Diva.
Like,
She was picked in the
it
technically 5th round, so.
yeah. It makes no sense to me, honestly. And she got MVP for our game for playing one map and being absolute garbage in that map. So
Oh my
Yikes.
God, Nick. And it
Damn.
kind of sucks because we don't have anybody from Double Cap here to
if we
defend
had someone from
Pichu.
Double Cap, I'd be more than happy to talk to them about it, but we don't because McCree's DCing just like in game.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Wow,
Damn.
dude.
Oh,
This is what I wanted, dude. I love it. I love
Yo,
it.
Greed, when did you show up?
We'll move on to Master Dempsey's bust.
My bust was, I think, designs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything against designs, but it was kind of like a screw up for Platchat. Like they're the only team in novice to secure 3 spots, and designs was their first pick after that. And none of those picks really showed up in the first or half of the season, and designs isn't even on the same team anymore. So it's kind of like. It wasn't really worth it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, Designs is on. What he's on? Wait, he's still on
Platchat.
Platchat, isn't he? Yeah. So.
No, he's on double cap.
Oh, he's on Double Cap now. Oh.
Yeah, he left the team.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah,
Dude, then
I'm a
he
3-head.
immediately got yoinked by double cap. But,
Yeah, Designs was a 3rd round pick who didn't make too much of an impact, so that makes sense. Chicken, hopefully you're here, not AFK. If you'd like to talk about your bust. All right, we'll move on to Z Power. Oh,
Okay,
he's here.
sorry,
He's here.
sorry,
We're
sorry,
good. We're good.
Nah, okay. Sorry, my mom was in my room. I was talking to her. Okay, for my bust, I'd say King Genius or Razor. The reason I say King is like he was hyped up to have this like big brain and stuff like that. Whenever I was on DC, I realized he's nothing but a Ryan one trick. Like he can't play ball.
Bruh.
I noticed that in the game today. He can't yesterday. I mean, he can't play ball. He just sits in a grapple hook form and just spins around. And his monkey is kind of, it's nothing like the other main tanks. Like nothing like Warner's, nothing like Apple's, nothing like I've never seen Arrow's monkey. I mean,
You don't want,
being
you don't
honest.
want.
Okay. It's like
Bruh.
Yeah, I mean, picking a quote Ryan One-Trick as your first overall pick, or your first pick, 2nd overall pick, because we're kind of excluding the round 1 of the captains just because. So yeah, basically the 2nd overall pick being a Ryan One-Trick is a decent reason to call him. But I'd say that his Ryan is arguably the best in the league. But if he is forced off of it, I guess, and also a lot of stories of him tilting. I don't know, just yeah. I mean, I can agree with that, but.
Honestly, I wouldn't say he's a bust.
I don't think he's a bust either, but I mean, you can explain a bit if you want.
I think he's just getting a lot of hate now, and just everyone's just I don't know.
yeah. No, okay. And the reason I kind of talk about my steals now.
No, we're doing all the busts first.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
I
now
was-
Z Power, if you wanna talk about your bust.
All right, so for busts, I'm saying Jag, the Jag 07. He was a protected player, the first protected player besides our captain. And if you just look at the order, right? The order: first overall Arrow, second overall King Genius, and then third overall Jag. And like just considering the fact that like he played like 4 maps for us, and that was like the only game, like the first game, and it's like he just like didn't really show up much. I think like, I mean, if you define a bust, like I'd say it's like you wouldn't picking up that early, and I think
Yeah, I agree with that full wholeheartedly. That he's arguably the biggest bust. What was he, a flex support or a main support?
off support,
Off
yeah.
support. Yeah. Do you have any idea why your team wanted him so badly? Is there anything about him
Okay,
special?
so it's because him and Puku had synergy because they were on a team last season, like in season 0.
Was it Ubu?
Ooh, Puku, yeah.
Alright.
And they like Lich wanted to draft based on synergy, and I mean, didn't work out. And I mean, like, like one thing, I mean, like he was a bronze. It's like I have to say that's a bust. It's like I can't say
Yeah,
that's
I
not
mean,
a bust.
I don't think anybody else on this list is more deserving of a bust. So I picked pretty much so my bust is the only person after. So after the Jag, it's Warner who's been good, Tanic, Magical, Sebs, and then Paradox. Which I as a flex support to another flex support, he hasn't, especially for being a second round pick, the first flex support taken, he hasn't, and he was protected, hasn't made too much of an impact on Platchat ever. And I don't even think he starts anymore. Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, no.
That's like just pretty much the definition of a bust is someone you pick up early, they don't start, they don't make an impact. Like, is there anything else you want to say about Paradox Chef? Why you think things went downhill, or why your team thought so highly of him?
I don't know. I think he was a season 0 player, so they wanted to like keep him on the team. They really
Yeah,
liked
he
him.
was a season 0 player.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. He pretty much likes to just play Zen. Like that's the character he's by far the most comfortable on. And I think like mechanically, like the other players that we picked up, like LPN and Pew Pew, kind of are better than him mechanically. But he does have good comms. But it's not the only thing you can have.
Yeah, you got to have some talent there, especially being a
I
second
mean,
round pick.
looking at the flex supports, like even that round, the flex supports picked that round. I mean, Otto was picked. I mean, it's like,
Otto's a god.
and then the other two, I'd say like of the 3 top flex supports, one of them was picked in the 11th round. Hint, hint,
Hint,
my
hint.
steal, and the other one was picked in free agency by
Bro.
Rancher. It was Rancher.
All right, that's a nice little segue. We'll move into our steal or value. I don't know what to call it. We'll call it the draft steal, just because
Should I start? Because I can't just.
Yeah, sure, Z-Power, you can start with
All
it.
right. So my steal of the draft is Shaffler, right?
Thank you.
And it's Shaffler because he's a top 3 flex support, and he was picked in the 11th round, which is kind of absurd if you think about it. And I know it's like plat and stuff, and it's like it's kind of hard to draft, but looking at the other flex supports picked, it's, I mean, like Shaffler's obviously like top 2 or 3, and that's including my own bias, but definitely top 3, 100% top 3.
Thanks, man. Nick, I know you were talking about wanting to pick me. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about that?
Yeah, honestly, I think you're probably the best flex support, but that's a little bit biased coming from me. But besides that, I still can't believe that you're a round 10 pick, honestly. Like, if you look at the round 10 picks, like, nothing. You see, I think, like, there's Doc, Grapecake, and, like, 2 other players, and almost every single one has either dropped out of the league or was dropped. So, yeah.
Nice, nice. I mean, I'll never deny a little ego padding for myself, but
No, why not? Why not? Why not?
Of course.
we can move on to Jeff's steal.
Oh, my steal was Stewie 1K. Because he got picked in the 7th round, and he's like arguably the best off tank in the league. So yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. There's
I think
really,
that's all
there's
he
really
has to
not
say.
much explanation
He
needed
was
there. I
picked
mean,
right after the god himself, Razor.
Oh, also,
Razor.
I just wanted to say, rip old plat chat. Like 4
Yeah.
of you guys' picks were old plat chat members.
Yeah, there's a
So,
lot. There's a lot of busts from Plot Chat.
feels bad, man.
We'll move on to Nick's steal of the draft.
Who did I say? I said Rockney, right? So this kind of makes no sense to a lot of people probably because Rockney is an employer that really plays a lot on our team. He's a sub, but Rockney brings this sort of energy into the team like Pigeon, I'd say that Z Power was talking about earlier. This energy of like, you know, just like just being there honestly hypes up team morale. And I think like he's probably one of the biggest players in and out of the bench. And even when he's on the like the stage, he plays the stage metaphorically, but he plays really fucking well. Like, if you ever want to see him play, like, go into Junker Town. His hog was insane on that map. So yeah, that's why I chose him. He was like I don't even know what round pick, but yeah, he's a really good player.
He was the 7th round pick, or the last pick of the 7th round, basically. Yeah, I mean, I could say he's probably the best. I mean, it's hard. I don't want to call him a bench player, but he has the best bench, like just flex in general, because he could flex to anything. Like his diva and often gets pretty nuts. He can play DPS really well too, and just having that security, like oh we're down a DPS or we're down a tank, and just being like Rock to get in there because he's been with our team since the beginning. He's never complained once about sitting on the bench. And he just fills in so nicely with the team. Also, I pretty sure Nick talked about it, but I wasn't really paying attention about the morale boost he brings. It's just a
Fuck up, not even listening to your own team. Christ, bro.
I mean, dude, like the 2 top teams have like good morale boosters. It's like
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a strat. It's a strat,
Maybe
Yeah,
you guys,
take
yeah,
one.
we have. Oh no, we
I'll
don't have a
say-
mental health coach anymore.
dude. Yeah,
Plat
Wampus
chat-
is a
plat
member
chat-
now.
plat chat's up and
Wumpus
coming,
Wumpus
boys.
is now on the roster.
Yeah, yeah, Platchat's something up. Alright, who's next?
We'll move on to Master Dempsey with your steal.
For me, the steal is either going to be Laser Blitz or Dad, both players on one trick, and they're strong players that are both like hidden gems. Like they're never really talked about when you're talking about the top players at their respective roles at projectile and hit scan DPS, but like they really pop off. And if you go back to and watch that double clap game, just look at Lasers McCree and try and deny that.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially Dad getting picked in the 9th round. Laser was a little bit early in the 6th, but still a pretty valuable pick. Like when you're on a team with the DPSs with Silver Star and Shifting, it's pretty easy to get overshadowed by them too. But yeah, those are definitely 2 very strong.
Yeah, I was actually about to pick Dad for my.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Dad too. But you yoinked it. Chicken, if you want to talk about your steals, you can talk about both of them if you want.
Okay. My steal kind of goes along with my bust. I understand what they were thinking, picking King and then Apple, but they picked Apple really late, so I don't know if they knew his potential on Ball and Monkey compared to like King
That's
and
why
Ryan
they
and stuff like
drafted
that.
him. That's why they drafted him.
Yeah, but like that was like really late. It was like what 10th round? Yeah, 10th round picking up 10th round picking up Apple. Like that, I don't know. Like Apple's Ryan is the most improved in the league. That's for sure. It's like same with his Ball and his Monkey. His Ball and his Monkey are like untouchable. Like otherwise, like I think they could have used him more. Like if they would have subbed him out with King frequently, then that double cap would be unstoppable, in my opinion.
Did Rio
And-
trade for Apple Expert, or did they drop him and you picked him up?
So there was a lot of like heat going on with Apple and me, Apple and Bob and double cap and all that. So like we left because of, I could say, because of a coach basically, Quacks.
Quacks isn't even affiliated with the team anymore, right?
Hey,
Yeah, no, he's gone.
What
Uh,
I want to say one thing. If Quacks was never on Double Cap would be top team right now.
what did he? I mean, I don't know about it,
And
but
if they
like,
gave me some, and if they,
God
like,
damn! All right, we're calling out the coaches now. Shaz, get
Oh,
in
I'm
here.
done. What did he do that was so detrimental?
He played favorites and
yeah, he put. Okay, I was on the
Yeah,
I was on the
let's-
team and then like, he it was mostly just lying about playtime, and like he literally bribed me for a week to stay on the team, and he goes, "Yo, you'll be a starting Zarya player if you stay on the team." He get in the team. He didn't play Zarya once the next match. Played Hanzo for one match, and carried the crap out of our team. Like that was what went on, and then I just left after that. Same with, like, and then Bob, I think, just was like tired of getting mistaken for like. I think Quack said I was a better Zarya than him, which is like not true at all. Like I'm a Brig player, so like he told him that I was a better Zarya than him, and then that kind of made him just like a little tilted. And then he left because of that, and then I left because of Quacks, and so did Apple. So yeah, and then me and Apple both got picked up onto Rio after that, and then my other steal though, but it has to be like Stewie and Epps. Like I know we already mentioned Stewie, so I'll like talk about Epps more. Like Epps was a round 10 pick, round 9 if you exclude the round 1. Like round 9, like that's really late for like a top performing projectile in the league.
Yeah, not only that, like I not only see the carry and arguably the best projectile in the league. I heard he does a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff. Like he's basically your manager, coach, captain,
Yeah,
everything.
He's a
now.
captain. He's our captain. Like
It's
he got
just
promoted to captain.
that's a value pick if I've ever heard of one. I think he's probably the best from everybody. I mean, I don't want to be too cocky, but I think Epps is probably the most value pick that I see. Me maybe being second, but in third, if I talk about my steal, is my boy Z Power.
Hey.
This man getting drafted in the 7th round. Not gonna lie, started out a little rough in the season. Not sure if it was too much of his fault or the team's fault, but the turnaround and becoming arguably the best Zarya in the league, just the way he plays and the way he can carry bot burgers, only for a 7th round pick, with the likes of Chicken ahead of him, which I also want to give a little honorable mention to. I don't think anybody picked him for his steal, but two of the best DPSs in the entire league getting picked in the 7th round with the likes of Pineapple and Nope 3, which I don't even know if they get any starting play now.
They're gone. They're both gone.
They're gone.
I don't even know who Pineapple is, first of all, and then second of all, Nope 3, gone.
Yeah, that's just
gone for a
crazy. I
while.
mean, I wish I could talk more about Z-Power, but he just seems like a nice, cool, calm, collected dude. We're talking about him like he's not here, but he also said he tilted. But his Zarya play in the GOATs is super strong, and at least when we played against them, it was the noticeable thing that was kind of holding us back from rolling him. Just want to give a nice little clap to you, Z-Power.
I mean, in Pugs, I went from a DPS main tank hyperflex to a Bazarian League, so.
Nice.
Pug.
I mean, after that rounds up our little draft steal bus section. So we're close to rounding this out. I do a thing where I go through and ask each person if there's anything they want to add, any kind of topic
predictions?
about.
Oh, we already did.
We did predictions, you forehead. Anything you want to talk about, a new topic, anybody you want to call out, because we can call out people, but we'll start out with Jeff, if there's anything you want to add.
Big Money McMatt. After the game happened, I was in a voice chat and I saw he was in there. I joined it and he said, because he didn't know I was like a plat. He didn't know I was Jeff from Plat Chat. So he just saw Plat Chat and he's like, hey, you literally need to take Jeff into the back and individually suck him off. So that was epic.
Okay, wait, what?
What? Once the Tannic told Jeff to suck himself off is basically what we're getting from that.
Nice.
All right, Nick,
Augers.
if there's anything you want to add.
So I feel really weird calling him out because he was supposed to be here, but since he's not here, I feel like I have the right to call him out. So McCree gets a lot of praise in the league, and I don't understand why. I have zero clue why. He's like an alright DPS, I guess, at most. I just can't see. Apparently, I'm calling out all the Double Cap members. I'm sorry, Double Cap, but like.
I mean, if I could
just
say,
can't- no, fuck
I
Double
think
Cap.
his McCree is not McCree. His Zarya has improved a lot, and I
Okay,
think
his already has, but like his DPS isn't amazing, and I don't understand why so many people praise him on it. Like it's
Yeah,
not,
like-
it's not that great of a DPS. Honestly, I wouldn't even see his top 10 DPS in the league.
He has like a good widow, but
I think it was a Widow, like, it was a scrim on Hollywood. They literally had to go through 3 Widow players to stop me on Widow.
Yeah, there was a time
Like, I was
on, I think it was Rialto, where it was like one of the early scrims, I think even before the season even started, where I was outdueling him as Zen when he was Widow. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you could say he's not top 10, but you could. I
We're
don't know.
about to get raided by fucking double cap tonight. From the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys. It was fun.
Time to make
All
another rule.
right, Dempsey, if there's anything that you haven't talked about yet.
Well, I kind of mentioned it, but like, I don't see, whenever the best roles in the league are talked about, like one trick wonders is rarely brought up, and I think, except for Werner for main tank, but I think a lot of us should receive some more praise. Like we're a
Yeah,
good team.
Laser Blitz is really good, Zarya.
Yeah. Laser Blitz is a good Zarya.
I was gonna say your team has so much potential, but I don't know whose fault it is in terms of if it's Orbit. But you need it. Do you guys have a coach?
We kind of
Clovix.
do. Yeah, we have Glovix.
I just feel like there's so much like
Potential.
untapped potential on that team that if you didn't get a coach or multiple
Okay,
coaches.
listen. This is how you guys are gonna win. Run DPS comps.
Spoiler reel.
No.
Like,
I said this like week 3. I said Bob Burgers has one of the highest potentials in the league, and they ended up being arguably one of the best teams in the league, if not the best. And I seriously think OTW has that potential. You guys have a strong lineup, and I just think with enough practice, you guys can actually start rolling. I don't think anyone's too far down. Plotchat even has been looking really good recently. Well, I mean, okay, Tanic's a really great DPS, and I feel like he's also a really great leader. And I feel like if they use Tanic the right way and they have the great pickups around him, like Owais was a great pickup, you'll be able to
The thing
win.
is, I think Owais should start on Zarya though. Well,
Well,
that's me.
I-
I'm gonna have a question later on.
I don't know if I agree with that because he's a self-proclaimed garbage Zarya in God Brig, and especially
Can
on
I,
Plat Chat with
self-proclaimed
Tanic, I don't think.
Can I add
Yes,
something? 'Cause
dude,
I'm the
yes.
main tank
Mhm.
for it. They're both good Zaryas. Owais just talks more, and Tanic just doesn't as much. That's kind of the main difference. Is that Tanic is more like mechanically stronger than Owais, but Owais talks a lot more. So
Yeah, like
exactly.
coming from a Brig player that got like benched by him basically on double cap. His callouts are insane. Like I was in scrims with him and stuff like that. Being in game with him is like a whole new thing. Like his callouts on Brig, he just takes a roll and just screams over everybody, and then like
Hey, Shaffler, does that sound familiar?
Not yeah. It reminds me of a Brig bot on my team. It goes by Nikolai.
Maybe. Just a little tiny bit of.
Nikolai.
Dude, if our comms ever get released, I'm gonna get insta banned from the league.
Oh,
just
100%.
Oh, dude. I don't know. I do want to know. Who do you think's gonna win? Just straight up. Who's gonna win the league?
Plat Chat.
Plat Chat.
Easy.
Plat
Yeah,
Chat.
Plat Chat. Let's go.
I say
Alright.
Platchat's holding back all of their strats and just like
Platchat.
in the playoffs,
They're
just roll
sandbagging.
everybody.
See, you guys, if you see Pew Pew feet, that's hit on purpose, dude.
Yeah, it's on purpose.
It's all
He's
intentional,
secretly a GM player, dude. He's not playing at his
Hidden
maximum.
potential, dude. We're hidden gems.
Alright.
Hidden potential.
Dude, Ultra Instinct.
Round it out.
Exactly.
Round it out with Z Power. If there's any topic.
Alright.
Also, you can say no, by the way. But yeah, then you
No,
wanna add-
I'm not gonna say no. I'm not
Okay,
gonna
of course
say no.
not, of
First
course
thing, I need to shout out Ham, our coach. Without Ham, we wouldn't be a good team. And there's a lot of factors that led to us being a good team, but Ham is like a really big factor.
True.
All right. And number 2, all right, I need a bit of an ego boost, or yeah, I need a bit of ego boost. All right. How would you rank
Oh
the
god.
Zaryas in this league?
Zarya's.
Z Power, Magical,
Laser.
fuck.
Everyone else than Z Power.
No, because like Z Power and Magical are
No,
really
but
close,
get it.
but like
No, but yeah, Z
I don't know.
Power is
It's really hard to rank you guys because I don't know how much support you get from your team. Z Power, Magical gets almost none from us.
You want to know what our comms are? Listen, dude. Arrow doesn't.
You're right,
Arrow,
you have
oh,
Arrow,
listen,
yeah.
dude. Also, one thing, Arrow does not carry us.
Arrow
I'm just gonna
does.
say that.
He doesn't.
Arrow's a great main tank. He's really good. He gets boomed sometimes, but it doesn't matter. He's still really good. But I'm saying it right now. Our comms may be stick on Arrow and pocket Arrow as much as we can, but that's not Arrow carrying. That's just him
Yeah.
staying alive.
Yeah, I
That's
trust.
true.
No,
know.
that's fair enough. Like I feel like Arrow's a great main tank, but I feel like a lot of main tanks are great because of how much support they get, and a lot of supports are just not looked at. Like for instance, Lily is a support on our team that doesn't get talked a lot, but I feel like he keeps a
Lily
lot of
is
us
really fucking
alive.
good. Top
Yeah,
two main support. Top two main support. Behind
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Honestly, if we're going for the ego boost, top DPS right here. Talk to me.
Also, I want to ask another question. I just want to know Z-Power was on first. All right, another question. All right, which teams have like? Alright, I'm thinking in goats, tank line, support line, right? Support line includes Brig, right? What
Ooh.
team has the best tank line and what team has the best support line?
I mean,
Okay,
Bobburgers
best support line goes to Papega for sure, dude.
Ooh.
Lily, Shaffler, and me.
Oof.
And that's not even bring. Okay. So tanks I think is
I'd agree with you.
closer. Tanks is closer. I agree. Tanks are way closer, but I feel like we have it out in supports.
I say Rio for tanks though, like Stewie, Apple, and Epps, all in there. Would you count Zarya as the tank
Yeah.
one?
yeah,
Of course.
I could agree with that. I think you have potential, but I mean, we did play goats against you, and you guys did okay. Like your tank line is good talent wise, but in terms of working together, I'm not really sure.
Yeah. You guys have like
We don't
really.
run goats basically at all
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, no. Like I get that, but like you guys have really great individual talent. I just feel like you guys don't put it together enough.
Okay, well then
I know.
Y'all are sleeping in flat chat.
Are we? With
Watch out,
a
best support line,
Jeff,
dude.
listen, you're a good team and all, but I'm not sleeping on that. What's the record?
1-7.
Minus 19
Negative
map
15 map
difference.
differential.
Okay, all right, but listen, for tank line, I'd say Bop Burgers.
I mean, yeah, I could
Because-
agree with that.
Arrows,
Actually-
power, and who's your
Pigeon.
good? Yeah, pigeon. That's right.
And for support line, I didn't say include flexibility of Brig, but if we include the flexibility on Brig, I would say my team because I
No
think
way,
Sloth,
no way, dude.
Listen,
Flexibility,
dude, Sloth,
flexibility on Brig. I am
Sloth-
on Brig. I can play every
Listen,
single
dude,
DPS, dude.
I-
same
besides-
Nick. Wait no Nick, same. I honestly play every DPS.
Exactly, dude. I'm our flex DPS, dude. I swear to God.
No,
Besides,
I'm a
I
hit scan DPS, but I play
think-
Doom, Genji, and all of them.
Yeah,
Alright,
exactly.
let's see power talk.
I'm a
Whoa,
projectile player,
let's see
but I'm
power
a
talk.
usual
Let's see
player.
power talk.
For Farah, it's me, Sloth, and Epps as the top three. You can mix it up however you want. Sloth is crazy at Farah. He's crazy at every DPS he plays, but his Brig is like he sometimes goes a little bit too forward.
I have the top. Me and Owais.
Don't
are
even
probably
talk,
top.
Shaffler. We're not even talking about this.
So that's why I say Papega has the best support line, but Boppers definitely has the best tank line.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Shaffler Sit Down episode
Happy
number
Canada Day.
trace.
One last thing.
Hey.
Papega, it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
it
it's going
will,
to be
it
a good
will.
game.
One last thing. Chicken best brick.
Chicken best burger. Alright, anyway, bye.
Yeah.
Brig.